Make sure that it's actually like on the WildActs.
I got the notification. I got the notification of WildActs. UNH is live.
I was like, what if this is on mine and like no, like if the name like WildActs can't get it. So we're good.
We're good. Okay. I'll double check, but I'm pretty sure we're good.
what? This is not like me.
Hi everyone, thank you so much for coming. My name is Lauren, I'm the president of WildActs here at UNH. We are a social justice theater troupe, which is why we're presenting on the national level. They have something called Climate Change Theater Action. And so we are one of the first, if not the only, people to do it in New Hampshire and bring it to our state. So it's a collection of 9 plays that we picked from a huge library that the national organization supplied us with. And we think you guys are really going to enjoy them. They're really relevant to today's atmosphere and climate. Yeah, so we have no programs because we're trying to be climate friendly. So we will have on this next thing, we have a little bit more information for you. And as we go, there'll be information about who's performing each piece as we're going along. All right, so without further ado, here's our first piece. It starts with me, a woman, a sister, a mother.
It starts with me, a girl, a niece, a daughter.
It starts with me,
a student,
a scientist,
an elder,
me, a politician,
environmentalist,
a writer.
It starts with me.
Because I may be young, but I can stand in front of world leaders and demand that they do their job.
Because I may be poor, but I can fight to address female well-being and ecological health together.
Because I may be marginalized, but I can draw upon indigenous traditional knowledge and heal the earth.
Because I may be inexperienced,
Ambitious, angry,
religious,
and I may be just me.
but I've had enough of the patriarchy to call it what it is and dismantle it.
I've had enough of politicians' dysfunction to run for office and win.
I've had enough of capitalism,
Greed,
white supremacy,
denialism.
To ignore those invested in the status quo and take matters in my own hands.
It starts with me.
because I'm 14 times more likely to die in a natural disaster than a man.
Because I'm 4 times more likely to be a climate refugee than a man.
Because after a natural disaster, I'm 300 times more likely to be abused by a man.
Because I'm vulnerable to toxins and pollutants always.
To human trafficking.
Always. To poverty, hunger, and death. Always. It starts with me.
Because I'm willing to make sacrifices to reduce emissions.
Yes. Because I'm responsible for half of the global food production.
Yes. Because I'm inclined to ratify international environmental agreements.
Yes.
Because I will no longer be abused.
No. I will no longer be silenced. No.
I will no longer be belittled, dismissed, discounted.
No. It starts with me. It starts with me.
It starts with me.
It starts with me.
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 It starts with me. Because without me, there is no salvation for anyone or the planet.
The colors.
Yes, the colors.
Wow, so saturated, intense, unreal almost. And the light, and the composition.
Oh yeah, this one in particular.
Stunning composition. These are great photos.
But should I really be trying to make something attractive? You know, should I really be trying to appeal into the viewer's eye?
That was the assignment.
When in fact these are photos of great tragedy, great devastation? Should I? I mean, why am I trying to make what's ugly beautiful? Why do I take these pictures, you know? What should I do?
I don't know. But the colors.
Yes, the colors.
Spectacular. They could be in a gallery.
It's crazy. You're asking me to make art out of an environmental calamity.
Well, not me. I'm not.
Your boss is. Our boss.
We have to illustrate the story somehow. We can't just tell it in words.
Words aren't enough.
No,
No one listens to words.
not anymore.
So we need images.
To attract the eye.
So that someone engages and cares.
Yeah,
But do they?
well, that's our job. Get them to care.
But will they?
Again, our job.
No, don't. Stop. Just don't push me. Don't push me.
Look, take a break. Go do something else for a while.
For how long? An hour? A day? A month? The clock is ticking faster and faster, and every day there's some new disaster, some new evidence of some new consequences, some new devastation, and no, I don't think we can afford to wait one more minute before—
The story isn't scheduled until the end of the week. You can afford an hour. Just don't get so wound up.
Someone has to.
One thing at a time. Take a break. Take your mind off of things. Go look at something else.
Something beautiful.
Yeah.
Something that isn't all gunked up with human nonsense and human interference and human evil.
Something like that.
What's left, really? What's left that hasn't been destroyed by human intervention?
Well, deep wilderness.
It's just a matter of time. If there's a pure stream, it's in danger of pollution from industrial waste upstream, or the debris from a drilling operation. If there's a remote, gorgeous meadow, it's in danger of pollution from drifting smog. If there's a broad expanse of ocean, it's in danger of this crap, this refuse, this mountain of plastic bags and cans and straws and bottles floating into a great big graveyard of trash, rubbish, crap, ruining the habitat for God knows how many species, for God knows how many thousands of miles.
Well, there's still a little bit of something left. Go for a hike. Well, okay, not around here, but I don't know, there's some wilderness nearby somewhere, or you must have some photos of deep wilderness somewhere in some library or somewhere.
Don't tell me you're going to try to put a happy face on this and I should just calm down.
No. I could hire someone else.
Yeah, you could. Why don't you?
Same problem. Job's the job.
And the job is some weird juxtaposition. Make something horrific attractive.
Illustrate something horrible with something compelling.
I mean, to really do this justice, I should find the ugliest of shots. Photos of a baby dolphin with a plastic Coke can around its snout. Photos of baby ducks pecking at a styrofoam cup. Photos of a dead otter washed up on the beach with a plastic bag wrapped around its neck.
Okay, stop.
To really do this job right, I should find the most repulsive, the most disgusting, the most revolting images that people will get the idea.
That won't give them the idea.
It will. They'll be confronted with the truth.
Then they'll just look away.
Haven't they already?
But we don't want to give up, do we?
Okay, let's do this. What colors are the most appealing? What will best attract someone to this story? What will draw the eye in?
There's no hope this time. As Director of Research Division for New Species, I must recognize that this planet is moving straight towards self-destruction.
What leads you to this tragic conclusion, sir?
This dominant species we put out there, they can't harmonize with any other beings. It's obvious. They simply poison every environment they inhabit.
But they are a very young species, sir.
The planet is running out of time.
We too were a very young species once. We needed time to evolve, sir. Everything takes time, sir.
Rookie, I respect your enthusiasm, I really do, but they've had enough intellectual awareness by now to identify their problems. Problems they created themselves and find solutions. They're clearly conscious of the consequences of their actions.
But with all due respect, sir, we shouldn't give in to pessimism.
Sometimes I wonder if you listen to anything I say, Rookie.
I've been learning from you all my young life, sir. Centuries listening to you. The new species is gaining awareness of what it must do. The numbers show it.
But will they ever do something about it?
Maybe they just need more trust from us, sir.
It's going too slow. Some of them are very enlightened. We know they're trying, but there aren't enough of them. And they don't have the power to address all this shit.
Oh, sir, you just said a bad word.
That's how upset I am. Don't you get it? What these few individuals do isn't enough. They destroy way more than they preserve. They drink water. It's a very simple formula, H2O. essential to their survival, they pollute it and poison it knowingly. They put pollutants in their foods. Tell me, Rookie, what other species have we created that poisons their food?
Not a single one, sir.
This is a failed experiment.
There are Homo sapiens discussing these issues right now, sir, all over the planet. Sir, I understand your frustration, but we weren't that different from them when we started off. We weren't better than them.
I know that, Rookie. You're impossible.
Should I take that as a compliment, sir?
Whatever, Rookie. Whatever. Listen, we gave them autonomy. They think, they write, they have concepts, and they can achieve more than us. Their planet is perfect for life. Every single species we have thrown out there has found a way, but this one, all they care about is money, power, and money. And the few enlightened individuals, what's happened to them? Put in jail, killed, and exiled. It's useless.
Sir, have you ever thought about an intervention? Like, we go there and point them in the right direction?
Be honest with me, Rookie. Do you think they would understand it's for their own good?
I'm not sure, sir.
And Rookie, the way they are, I'm not sure it'd be wise to reveal our existence. They can find our planet. It's very close. It's been thousands of years since we've had any weapons. How would we defend ourselves?
Sir, can I propose something that could bring some excitement to this dire situation we find ourselves in?
What?
A bet.
Oh yeah, baby. Let's go for it, Rookie.
This planet is our responsibility, but this solar system is not the corporation's main concern right now, am I right? The corporation even talks about cutting our budget and shutting down operations.
I'm listening.
I'll sign the reboot protocol and...
Are we talking?
Yes, sir.
My dear and beloved.
Oh, yes, sir, I'm afraid so.
Dinosaurs? Are we talking dinosaurs?
We're talking dinosaurs, sir.
What's happening to my face, Rookie?
That's a smile, sir. You're very happy.
Dinosaurs.
I bet humans will evolve and survive and prevail. They'll survive, find a way. The few who see and understand what's necessary will be embraced by the rest of humankind and carve a path toward light and wisdom.
Oh, Rookie. And to think I was once idealistic like you. They'll disappear because they're too smart for their own good. And reboot protocol, my two favorite words, side by side. That's the bet. And then we return to my dear and beloved dinosaurs, a project that, by the way, should have never been discontinued.
We're very short on arms, sir.
That's no excuse.
They can never write and create language with those tiny fingers, sir.
This was my first project. Give me a break. Fingers are something new.
I know, sir. I did not mean to upset you.
I know, Ricky. And what do we do if this miracle happens and you win?
A dinner at the Galactic Star, sir.
That's a very expensive place. You sure know how to make a bet.
Do I feel a shade of doubt in your voice, sir?
Don't be sillier than you already are, Ricky. You should know that the Galactic Star is way overrated. I hate that place.
Do we have a bet, sir?
Oh yeah, baby.
So let the bet begin, sir.
So here's the thing. This is what you're saying.
I know what I'm saying.
You love me.
Of course I love you.
And I love you.
I love you, alright?
And we want to live together and get married.
Yes.
That's what you said.
Yes, I said.
Live together and get married.
Yes.
Share our lives.
Oh, shut up,
Do
will you?
all the things married people do,
Why are you doing this?
but not have children.
No, no children. I don't want to have children.
Even though we can, even though we could, there's nothing wrong with us.
I don't want children.
And even if there was, we could do IVF.
I don't want children.
Surrogacy. We could do surrogacy.
I don't want children.
We could just have fucking kids, couldn't we?
I don't want children.
But you don't want children.
I don't want children.
Why?
Look at the world. Look at the world.
Jesus.
Look at the world. The disaster of the world. Global warming, environmental collapse, the animals dying.
Animals dying.
Yes, animals dying. Look at the world.
Alright, let's just say you're right.
I am right. Fuck. All you have to do is turn on the TV.
That's not...
What?
They just put that stuff on...
What?
They make it up.
Who?
The TV stations, the media.
What?
To sell stuff.
Sell stuff.
Yes, sell stuff. They make stuff up.
Who?
The media, fake news.
Oh, the ice caps melting is fake news, is it?
Well, how do you know?
The hottest year ever recorded. The Middle East dying of drought.
All I'm saying...
Millions of refugees trying to escape.
All I'm saying is I love you.
And I love you, but I don't want to bring a child into a world like this.
We can change it. We can do things to make it better.
By not bringing one more mouth to feed into the world.
No.
What do you want a kid for? It's just narcissism and bullshit.
It's love, for fuck's sake. It's what love is. Two people don't get married to do the gardening together.
Why not? Why not do the gardening together and cook and share a life?
Until we both die shriveled up and cooked in the global disaster, you mean?
Well, how much worse would it be holding your kids in your arms as you did it?
No. No. It's not our future. We'll find a way. People will find a way.
No, we won't. Don't you get it? It's over. The world is finished. And you know why the world is finished? It's because of people like you. Yes, people like you who won't look it in the face and call it for what it is. There is no hope, and as long as people think there is, we won't do a fucking thing except dream of falling in love and having children.
So, you don't love me at all?
I don't know what love is anymore.
I love you.
Why do you keep saying that?
'Cause I don't want to die.
You will.
I don't want to die like this.
Like what?
Angry, bitter, hopeless.
That's the world.
No, it's not. It's you.
Then why do you love me?
Because I know you're none of those things.
I love you,
I know.
and I don't know what to do.
And then I said to my cleaning lady, if everyone at my country club makes $500,000 a year, it can't be that hard.
Check out the breaking news. It's unbelievable.
Residents of Durham have awoken to a shocking and unprecedented event. According to eyewitness accounts, 6 polar bears fell out of the sky this morning. Despite falling from the sky, they miraculously landed unharmed and were last seen walking away in search of food.
The greenies are going nuts and blaming climate change. Someone is going to have to do the press briefing and tell the public everything is okay. Just another day in paradise.
Damn it. How can we spin this one?
We could go with no cause for alarm. It was a weather balloon.
Weather balloons go up. The polar bears fell down out of the sky.
A weather balloon malfunction.
Or a satellite returning to Earth that broke up into 6 polar bear shaped pieces. Yes, that's good. But what about any eyewitnesses that saw the bears walk off in search of food?
Unfortunately, the 6 polar bear shaped pieces landed on 6 unlucky cows grazing near the city center. The cows were dazed by the falling space debris, but all were unharmed and walked away in search of food. In the confusion, drunken locals reported they saw polar bears.
Plausible.
Agreed.
Problem, one of the eyewitnesses posted photos of a polar bear walking away from the crash site. Already has 1.3 million likes.
Okay. One of the polar bear shaped pieces of the fallen satellite crashed into a visiting circus and landed on a polar bear cage, freeing the surprised but lucky polar bear. The circus was relieved to learn that their most precious bear, Mr. Fluffles, was unhurt and looked forward to reuniting the bear with its dearest friend Bongo, the 3-legged elephant who has been crying all night since the polar bear went exploring around town.
Plausible.
Agreed.
What? Apparently, International Polar Bear Rescue already has people on the ground here with a video camera and just uploaded videos of 4 more of the bears wandering the city, climbing into dumpsters, snuffling through rubbish bins, and one of them just ate a poodle. 2.8 million hits on YouTube.
Okay. Excited and disoriented by the noise of falling pieces of polar bear-shaped satellite, a startled group of teenagers who were out selling Girl Scout cookies to raise money for an orphanage, and were dressed as polar bears, became confused and jumped into dumpsters to escape the noise. When they emerged, the youngest member of the group, little Sally,
Who recently gave one of her kidneys to a complete stranger,
realized she had dropped a contact lens during the commotion and asked the others in the group to help find it.
They combed the cold, lonely city streets, even searching through rubbish bins for the precious contact lens.
Which used to belong to little Sally's dead grandmother, and had been a gift to little Sally on her deathbed.
The teens were later surprised to learn that the International Polar Bear Rescue may have inadvertently filmed them and are seeking damages for use of their images without permission.
Plausible?
Agreed.
Son of a biscuit! What is wrong with these people? A helpful local has befriended the last of the fallen bears and has taken it home, given it food and shelter, and a family who love it dearly. They will be appearing on a special episode of Oprah Winfrey at 8 p.m. tonight for the tell-all story of a bear that fell from the sky.
We could discredit the bear. Talk about how it was an alcoholic, seal pup murdering savage, and fell out of a plane during a drunken bender while it was trying to snort coke off the air hostess.
Plausible.
Agreed.
Or we could just tell the truth. The greenies are right. Admit that things are utterly out of control. The pair of polar bears were flung halfway around the world by severe weather events caused by man-made climate change so rampant and so ridiculous that anything is possible.
Come on, Madam Press Secretary, you've had a stressful day. I think you need to go have a lie down and a nice cup of tea. Maybe some soothing music, and we can buy you a new puppy and some new pajamas with pictures of rabbits on them.
Residents of Durham have awoken to a shocking and unprecedented event. A satellite containing poems written by children from around the world who were lost in the forest as babies and raised by wolves was returning to Earth, but unfortunately broke up on re-entry and crashed into government buildings. During the freak accident, a rogue piece of satellite smashed through a wall before landing in the office of the press secretary, killing 6 visiting orphan polar bears and decorated war hero Madame Press Secretary. Moments before tragedy struck, she was preparing to host a dinner in honor of left-handed orphan polar bears.
Plausible.
Stars. We need to check the stars. It's too cloudy. Can you see? What are they doing?
Who?
The hunter and the bear. Can you see them?
Why? My show is about to come on. It's cold. What are we doing out here?
It's very important. We need to figure out what they're doing.
It's too dark. They're just stars. Why does it matter?
Huh? Just stars? Those lights matter more than you can possibly imagine.
You're acting crazy.
I swear I saw him. He was... When was the last time you saw blood on the leaves?
Okay. Now, I know you're crazy. I'm going back inside.
Blood on the leaves. When was the last time you saw it? What color is this leaf?
Brown.
Exactly. Something is very, very, very wrong.
Oh my god, you New Englanders and your leaves. You're so weird. I'm going back inside.
It is not about the leaf. It is bigger than the leaf. A leaf is not just a leaf. Look at the leaf and look at the stars and tell me what you see.
I don't see anything.
Exactly. That is exactly the problem. And you don't know where to begin looking. What is he doing?
Who? I don't see... Actually, I do see something. I see a crazy person running around talking about blood on the leaves.
I'm not crazy, I'm upset. We need to find the hunter. He stopped doing what he was supposed to do.
Right. Are you going to tell me what's going on?
He hasn't killed him. He's forgotten his sacrifice, how important it is.
Yes. I have just followed a sociopath outside. It is now confirmed.
Many things have happened since the beginning of time to maintain balance in the world. Some of them happened down here, but many happened up there on the celestial level. A long, long time ago, the hunter and the bear were friends. Great friends.
Sorry, are you telling me 2 constellations are friends?
Laugh if you like, but the relationship between the hunter and the bear is extremely important. It's...
Okay, humor me.
things for us. There are sacrifices we must make for nature to do what it must. That is how the world works, how it's always worked.
So you're mad at the sky now because...
I'm not mad at the sky. I'm mad at... Long ago, the Great Spirit told the hunter he had to kill the bear.
What? I thought you said they were friends.
They are, that's the point. He didn't want to do it. He never wants to do it. But he has to do it for the leaves. Every year, at the end of the summer, the hunter will not want to kill the bear, but he must do it. The bear will not want to die, but die he must. It's their duty to the earth. When the hunter kills the bear's blood and fat drips down onto the leaves, and as he roasts the meat, the dripping fat and blood is what causes the leaves to change colors.
Ew.
Not helping.
Okay, the leaves aren't changing colors, they're just brown. So why are we crazy chasing the sky?
People forget why they have to do things. The leaves don't change color for us. We have to make sacrifices for them.
And this is a big deal, why?
Our entire world operates this way. It's supposed to be our reminder that we must sacrifice for each other. And every time this is forgotten, we take one step closer to...
Paranoid.
You are holding a brown leaf in autumn, and I don't see him.
Well, star beings can't just leave the sky, can they?
I don't know. This has never happened before.
Maybe it's a good thing. Maybe the bear will get to stay alive. Go, bear, go!
And who dies instead? There are sacrifices we must make for the world to go on as it should. What would you do if you were the hunter?
Go inside and watch my show. Maybe some popcorn, order a pizza.
Why did I even ask? New England people come for the foliage, they admire it, judge whether it was good as the year before, but most people don't know where it came from. They don't know the stories that come from the ground we stand on, the sky above us. Those stories remind us that balance is required, and without it, everything stops working.
So let's say this year the hunter doesn't want to kill the bear,
And the bear says, please do not betray us.
and the leaves stop turning.
And the hunter buys a suit and builds a skyscraper, and the leaves, they stop turning.
He drops down to the world and gets a television and a microwave.
And the bear says, please remember me. I'm waiting. And the leaves, they're waiting too, for they know their part in the relationship. They all know what they're supposed to do.
But the hunter stopped doing what must be done.
So if the hunter stops,
The bear stops.
the leaves stop.
And the Great Spirit?
I don't see the hunter.
Oh, I found the bear.
There he is, waiting for...
I'm tired of this. I've got to go inside. I want to watch my show.
You don't care?
It's just a leaf. It's just a story. I'm sure the constellation will show back up when it's less cloudy. Let it go.
Please come back. We need you to light the way.
To carry out the experiment, you'll need a man. Towel is optional. And you'll need a steam room, a typical one found in any spa. Plus steam, created by heat. That's it. Then we wait.
Wait
Yes.
for?
When I was a young man, foolish, willful, I used to go on long runs in the blistering heat in the middle of nowhere. Once I got lost, almost died of heat stroke. Luckily, someone found me just in time. How are we doing?
It's sweltering in here.
Tell us where you are.
In a steam room,
Which is where?
in a spa,
Which is?
inside a gym.
And that is? You're in Singapore, right? Singapore.
Yes.
What's the temperature there?
In the steam room,
Singapore.
hot.
Mean temperature of 27 degrees Celsius, or 80 degrees Fahrenheit. Doesn't sound too bad, except it's heating up, twice as fast as the rest of the world. By By the year 2100, we'll see a daily max of 37 degrees Celsius, which is, as you may realize, our body temperature.
What we need is AC.
If the grid is working, if energy prices stay low, if you can get there in time. Heat stroke kills within minutes. Remember those poor babies left unattended in cars on a hot day? Barbecue.
Someone should invent a low-cost AC. Solar powered, portable.
AC condensers give off heat, adding to the rising temperatures. In urban areas, because of hard surfaces, the effect is multiplied. Did I say the steam room has no doors?
What?
No doors.
How do I get out?
You don't.
But,
Don't worry, it won't take long. When ambient temperature remains above 40 degrees Celsius or 104 degrees Fahrenheit with high humidity, the body is no longer able to sweat. No sweating means no cooling. No cooling means our internal organs heat up, start to fail. Muscle cells are wrecked, spilling their contents into the bloodstream, overloading the kidneys. Proteins in the spleen start to cook. The blood-brain barrier that keeps pathogens out of the brain becomes permeable, allowing toxins to invade, as you will see.
funny.
Not pretty.
How long do I have to stay in here?
I thought I was clear.
Must be here somewhere.
As I said,
Wait, this is one of those escape rooms, right? Follow a series of clues and you're out of here?
no.
Give me the first clue. Come on.
It's done in the interest of science. For the faint of heart, you may want to avert your eyes now. Ready?
What's happening? Wait a minute. This is... Help! Someone!
Don't try this at home. Unless home happens to be an equatorial country like Singapore, where it's super humid. Then you don't even need to try. You're there.
I am standing here for a body that cannot stand here. I am speaking for the voice that is writing, that is Hannah. This body stands here for her body, as we should for those bodies that can stand here for those that cannot.
Cold was mined by hands with soot under nails, a dark, cramped cough, and the little sunny flicker of the canary in its cage.
This body is standing here for a body that used to stand on stages like this body does now, that used to dance the electro swing and jump into embrace and dig down in old quarries and catacombs.
This body is standing here for a body that 4 years ago found an abandoned coal cellar under the streets of Paris, untouched for years. The walls didn't reflect the torchlight consumed by the red blackness.
The canary was used as a warning signal. She said,
Get
the hell out. You're breathing poison air. She sent it with an envelope of her silent corpse.
This body stands here for that body, sacrificed to send you a message, to keep you safe.
I'm standing here for a body that is 10,000 miles away. This body is here for that body, her body that cannot be here, and not just because of the distance.
For a body that lies in a bed, breathing through respirators, unable to open a window to feel the breeze on the skin of her body. This body feels the breeze for her body. This body stands in this public air for her body that can no longer stand in the public air or under public gaze.
I'm standing here amongst you for that body whose genes have mutated, developed a warning sign, a body whose white blood cells attack petrochemicals, treat them like an allergy, a poison with potentially fatal immune response.
The canary thrashes its beak against the bars, claws scratch at cheap gilding.
Her cells on hair triggers changing pathways to explode at will, stuck on a feedback loop until every single source of food and water and breath is lost to the rising tide of reactivity. A body injected with biologics and chemotherapy in pain, just to only barely survive the uninhabitable space we create around it.
A body whose throat swelled up because her nurse accidentally wore eyeliner. A body swollen with hives from a piece of plastic. A body shaken by 100 seizures daily because of the propylene glycol in your soap.
A body that can smell your laundry powder from across the street. Smell what you ate 3 days ago under your skin. Smell bacteria. This body stands here for a body that doesn't know if it's evolution or an illness.
The last ink and paper book she read was David Bowie is Inside. She had to wear a gas mask and sit far away.
She wants to ask me to not wear scent when my body stands here for her body. She hesitates. What kind of climate activist will wear scent? What kind of activist when 90% of the chemicals that make up scent are petroleum derived? She asks again because the answer is most of us, unknowingly.
And makeup, hair product, synthetic fabrics, synthetic leathers, moisturizers, clothing detergents, our bodies soaked and wrapped in fossil fuels.
Because the media drives that tell us to ditch our straws don't tell us that washing synthetic fabrics in our home is one of the highest sources of microplastics in our oceans and in our lungs.
Because we were never told that our indoor use of personal care products and household cleaning supplies produces half of all outdoor city air pollution, more than cars.
The little canary breaks out of the cage and yells, "Fuck you, capitalist coal junkies," and flies off into the sky.
This body stands for those bodies that are changing into bodies that cannot stand here like this body. The 34% and rising of bodies that are noticeably injured by these scents and plastics and beautifiers we pretend we need but could be free from in an instant.
Up high, high like a cloud, all the canaries are free of their cages, flashing bright yellow in the sun like a light.
This body stands here for her body and breathes in and breathes and breathes and breathes like her body cannot and breathes in what her body does not have to.
I stand here for her body, and my body that is breathing all the poisons with you.
And a rain of yellow feathers tumbles down, soft on your nose and eyelids, and the canaries are stripping off their wings. They say, never again will we be made to feel like our lives are lived for your profit. And on the dead branches, they stand gloriously naked.
We stand here for their bodies. The canaries have dipped their little necks in soot and scrawl, "Fuck you, Anthropocene," and "Oil is genocide," and "Drown the 1%," and across their tiny naked bodies, and welts and hives rise up around the letters.
My body asks her body what it feels like for her body to be so damaged by all the tiny personal choices of our day. Her body tells my body that she feels like the earth.
So this body here also stands here for the earth that cannot stand here, and that cannot speak to us except through envelopes of silent corpses.
The canaries drop themselves onto the bonnets of cars in New York, onto department store skylights in London, onto ferries full of tourists in Paris. Their bodies catch on the girders of the Sydney Harbor Bridge. Talons tangle in the hair of Hitchcock heroines. Tiny pink blistering bodies fill the chlorinated fountains.
And I fill my lungs with this poison air, to shoot bullets of words through this poison air,
because my destruction will not be silent. In their death rattle, the canaries say, "This is the message we send with our bodies. We're not your warning signal anymore. We don't need a warning if you just stay the fuck out of the coal mine." Stay the fuck out of the coal mine.
This body is here amongst their bodies and also stands here for bodies and bodies that stand here.
Some lay struggling, not quite dead, on hot tarmac, wing bones broken, beaks shattered, and tiny manacles are placed around their ankles as police gently scoop them up to be put back in cages.
And words are washed from their bodies. They are to send a new message as their new cages are hung high outside shop fronts and town halls with their broken bodies on display. A warning.
But sullen, silent stares seem to say something different than what their captors wish their caged bodies to be saying.
And the corpses of the canaries that were not scooped up by policemen with their gently violent hands
are trodden under shoes, burst under the pressure of car tires, and fry slowly in the sun.
And you walk over that red smudge on the footpath, and you have your car windshield replaced. A workman cleans your pool.
And they are almost forgotten in the silence of their absence, forgetting also that their silence
is the warning. And I will go home to my home that is not a cage. And I won't notice the air freshener on the bus, or the hidden petroleum ink embedded in my recycled toilet paper, and the plastics in the products in my hair, or the scent that maybe I did or didn't wear today when the body I stood for asked me not to.
What you have to remember is that there was nothing then, in the sense that there were no real amenities, everything had to be done by hand, and the few machines that had been invented were rudimentary at best.
All you had were your wits and what you had read, if you had read anything. It took a lot of doing, someone said, to make anything happen.
And sometimes the doing had to be done by candlelight, and
involved, too, before you say anything, know this. Cooking is an ancient art. It holds some secrets.
The hut was more than a hut then. It was what some called a cabin, and even though it was in the middle of the woods, it had something of a reputation.
Meetings were held in this hut. Most of them had to do with civil liberties and progress, even though, yes, poetry was discussed too.
There's this myth that nothing much got done back then, and that a hut like this was merely an excuse for some people to gather together and amuse themselves by telling each other stories.
But what you have to remember is this. The stories happened at the end of the day, after the work got done, after everything.
The real work in the hut happened before the stories were told. There was cooking and tending to the small garden out back.
Searching through the woods for new ingredients and new species, and yes, there were long walks where a great deal of reflection occurred about how one should live an honest life.
Often there were encounters, except then the encounters perhaps less plain, because most people coming through these woods were running away from the worst conditions imaginable and had heard that the poet and the people that lived in this hut would provide food, shelter, and a safe passage. And they were right.
The poet and their people did offer these things in exchange for nothing.
In exchange for nothing.
Except maybe a little song, or a story, or maybe a new recipe.
If you walk into this hut, you won't see it now, but over there used to be a shelf where all the little stories and songs and recipes were held in small makeshift books written by hand. And if you were to run your hands along the shelf, you could hear all their voices.
Shall we talk to each other for a while? Shall we listen to our stories? In exchange for nothing, except to be here, just be here, with each other?
I'd been thinking about what the world would be like now, after I'd been in the hut. I'd been thinking about how it was that we were able to recall the songs of those that had passed, but couldn't make our own songs last.
A letter came from the ocean. It was addressed to the person that went away to the hut in the woods.
The letter was enclosed in a small envelope that smelled of lilac.
I opened the seal carefully. It's not every day, after all, that the ocean writes you a letter.
The paper was gossamer thin.
The letter began.
Dear person that went away to the hut in the woods while the world was on fire. I don't imagine that you know what you sound like, but from where I live, it sounds as if every word is dandelion. I hadn't heard that word in a long time, just like I hadn't heard the words nectar, willow, since you were 7 years of age. I missed those words. I like them better than log and cut and paste. But then again, you know that, because you are here, in the woods, in the hut where a poet once lived, and others too. And soon, you will go back to your city and try to live your life again, and perhaps let go of some of your rage, and perhaps start to look at others with kindness. It's not easy, I know. I am used to my rage too. It can be useful. It is a part of us, after all. Sometimes I rage so much that my waves destroy everything. And I think they will learn now. These humans will learn because they have brains, they have logic and reason, and they have this thing too called imagination. And with it, they can do so much good, and so much beauty, and so much music. And sometimes when I hear their songs, I can't help but get emotional. I'm a softie that way. I hope you can forgive me. I know being soft is not in fashion these days, but sometimes I can't help myself. Because sometimes, on certain days, when the light hits the sky a certain way, or I see someone walking along the beach, their eyes full of possibility, or some child is rescued in a peacekeeper's arms while bombs carry their city away, I think, I'm in love. I really am. I love you all so much.
Thank you all so much for coming. This was a really wonderful event. We're so happy that we were able to share it with all of you. If you didn't already So we do have a donation box over there, so if you'd like to donate on your way out, feel free. There's more information here if you'd like to know more. You can come up, chat with Noah, he has the page up. If you'd like to speak with any of us about the show or about our experience, feel free to do that as well. And other than that, have a great night and thank you for coming.